Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Intro to Software Development event. Sorry, we're a minute or so late here. Just getting a couple things organized, but thank you so much for joining us today. Before we get the session officially kicked off, I guess I should first ask, make sure that everybody can see me okay, everybody can hear me okay. Maybe just let me know in the chat off to the side there if that is the case. Awesome. Thank you. Amazing. And I randomly have some weird issues with my mic. Sometimes it'll disconnect on me. I don't know why. It's a nice mic, but if anything does happen during the event, just bear with me and I'll reconnect it quick. But everything should be okay here. And this full event will be recorded as well. So I'll probably mention this a few times throughout the session, but for anybody who is looking to take down some notes or write down information, this full session will be recorded and sent out to you afterwards. So you are welcome to take notes. You can take screenshots. You can do anything you like. Obviously, during the interactive part, you'll be a little bit busy with that. But on that note, too, today's session is fully interactive. I've got a couple links here that I'm going to share with you guys. So just in case anybody didn't get this communication in advance, I want to make sure that you have a chance to start doing the downloads now. You may still not be able to participate in the session unless you've done this in advance, but I'm just going to give you the links just in case you have time to do it. For those of you who don't have the pre-downloads and things ready to go, I encourage you to still pay attention throughout the session. And then once you get the recording, you can go back and do the live build that way through the recorded format too. So, and then I can see on the side there, how long is the event? The event itself should run between 1 to 2 hours. It kind of depends on the interaction with the instructor as he's going through. If he gets a lot of questions from people in the chat, can slow down a little bit of what he's working on. And then, of course, we're going to do some Q&A at the end of today's session as well. So the length of that could kind of change the total session time too. So Fatima, that's okay. You can stay for an hour. You will get a recording of this full event session afterwards. So, so here I'm going to give you guys a couple downloads. This is Python. So if anybody doesn't have Python downloaded and you're looking to participate in today's session, please go ahead and download that. I'm not getting a command prompt. So I will stop real quick here too and say I was a little nervous about the fourth step, sending it out with the command prompt. Just because I thought it might be confusing to a few people without an instructor present. So some of you may have navigated through that part. Others may not have figured out the command prompt part yet. But when the instructor comes on stage, we're going to start there and he's going to make sure that you guys are able to go in and type that in or do whatever you need that way. So, I shared the link for Python. I'm also going to share the link right now for PyCharm Community Edition. This is also something you would be using here today. There we go. There's that link there. So you just want to download that. And it looks like some people in the chat are helping out with the command prompt as well, which thank you to anybody who is assisting others. The instructor will be up in just a few minutes and he'll be able to assist much more than I can with that kind of stuff. So that's PyCharm I've put in the chat. I've put the actual Python link. And then you do also have to have a Discord developer account. And I'm just going to put the link for that one in here again as well. And then, yeah, just make sure that you have those things kind of ready to go for today's session. Question about settings for PyCharm. Should I flag all options for the installation options? That's a great question, Wallace. Donald, if you're seeing that right now and you're able to let Wallace know in the chat, he just had a question about the settings for PyCharm. Should I flag all options for the installation options or just a few? If you could share anything like that in the chat, that would be great. Yeah, I can see Donald type in there. Good. He's going to share some info there for you guys. Whatever the default is, he says. So that's okay. Just whatever the default is. And I'm going to get my screen up here. While I'm sharing my screen here, folks, feel free to share in the chat. I hope this doesn't disrupt anything off to the side, but feel free to share where you are joining us from today. I'm originally from Ontario. I've lived in BC and I now live in Alberta. I live Calgary, Alberta, right downtown here. It's actually a beautiful day out today. Prince George, BC, Victoria, Montreal. Amazing, 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 amazing. I'll put this stuff over here. Oops. Go. BC, Montreal, Fort St. John, Northern BC, Ottawa represent. Awesome. I feel like I've been to most of these places, either for personal or work travel. Verdun, I haven't been there. I haven't been to Maple Ridge, Nanaimo. Haiti, I've not been to Haiti. That's amazing. Victoria, Oshawa. I haven't been to Oshawa either. PEI on my list too. So cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us here today, guys. This is going to be a really cool session. Ooh, I don't know why that's moving on me. So the second thing I'd ask you to share in the chat is what you're excited about for today. Why are you joining today's workshop? Are you currently a software developer? Are you curious you want to become a software developer? Yeah, I'm just kind of curious what sort of folks or what the audience is made up of today who's kind of joining us here. So feel free to share that in the chat here as well. And I'm going to, on that note, get the presentation lined up. There we go. Want to add to my portfolio, want to learn Python, curious, want to come and work with AI. Just wanted to learn how to build a Discord bot as a project. Really, really cool. Awesome. It's kind of what I was hoping, just like a mix of people who are just genuinely curious or just, wanted to build this bot or want to learn a little bit more about coding in general, Python coding. So amazing, amazing. Well, thank you guys. You're in the right place. Thanks for joining today's session. That was all just the intro, if you can believe it. I'm actually going to officially kick off the session now. Excuse me. Also, just getting over a cold. So if I mute at any point and cough, I do apologize for that too. All right. So I'll start off here by introducing myself. So my name is Tyler. I am the event host for today, but I'm also the marketing event manager at CircuitStream. I've been with this company for just over 3 years. And previous to this, I worked in travel and tourism. So a little bit of a different world. I'm not inviting you up quite yet, Donald, so don't come on stage just yet, but I am going to invite him up in just a few minutes. And he is going to lead today's interactive lesson. Donald is an instructor with us at CircuitStream, so he'll be able to come up and run the Discord bot session with you guys shortly. I'll start off here by introducing us as a company. CircuitStream began in 2015 through a network of developers, designers, and creators, and we are now a leading provider of technology learning in game development and design, product design, augmented and virtual reality, product management, and software development. A few other areas there as well. We also offer courses for both adults and for youth. Previously, we were just offering pre-university courses, but we've recently expanded and we're now offering youth courses below a few years below the age of 13 as well. So if you know any little ones or any teens who are looking to get a jump on technology learning, this is a great way to do it. So just check out CircuitStream's website. You can click through the youth learning, or of course you can just reach out to us here and we can provide more information for you there too. Our main goal is to bridge academics with industry to shape real-world experiences and to teach the skills of the future through innovative learning experiences. So you may be wondering, how do we achieve this? We actually do it through project-based learning. So when we design all of our bootcamp curriculums, we begin with employer data and research, and then based on that information, we create experiences and projects to provide our students with career-ready skills. Taking this approach allows us to partner with the top universities in the country to provide technology education for both teenagers and adult learners, and now youth as well, a little bit below the teen years. In fact, we are the only tech company in Canada currently offering these courses that are partnered through these universities listed here. In case anyone just got here too, I should mention this, like I said, I'm going to mention it a few times, but this whole session will be recorded today. So if anybody just trickled in and you're seeing some stuff on the screen, just know that you'll get access to all of this, including the interactive session in a recorded format afterwards. So So yeah, because we rely on industry and employer data to create our content, our students develop in-demand applied skills that actually matter in market. This prepares them to seamlessly transition into the workforce and confidently tackle real-world challenges. So basically what that means in a nutshell is we sum up what is actually needed. We connect with people who are working professionals working in the industry, and then we create our education based on that so that when you're kind of launched out of a boot camp into the industry, you are not stuck with just kind of textbook lessons in your mind. You've actually got tangible results, and you've got projects and a portfolio of things that you've worked on throughout the boot camp. So we also iterate on our course materials constantly in order to provide our students with the most up-to-date programs and tools. On the screen here, you can see a snapshot of some of the tools that are used in our software development bootcamp, including some AI integrated tools in there too. CircuitStream also provides a gateway to the industry for our students through our dedicated career support services. We equip them to showcase their skills and behavioral strengths, elevate their digital presence, and align with their personal brands. Our students delve into their specializations. They gain understanding of interview questions associated with each craft, captivating portfolios featuring their products, and they learn how to excel at industry networking while thoroughly preparing for job interviews for the tech world. Our career networking support really sets our programs apart from others that you may find. Every student has different objectives coming in, but for those who are looking for new jobs or to improve on their current positions, they really find this aspect of our courses and our boot camps incredibly helpful. So now a little bit on the Canadian software development market. Acquiring software development skills in Canada positions individuals to excel in a variety of industries and contribute to economic growth. The average salary for a software developer in Canada right now is $104,000 per year. There are many different titles that software developers are hired for, including programmers, software engineers, front-end developers, back-end developers. So usually when people are kind of being launched out, we encourage them not to just look for career opportunities with the title software developer, because the reality is there's a million other titles that you could be hired for. And it's good to kind of look outside of just that range of opportunities. So according to the BC Tech Association, there are over 15,000 job openings for software developers in BC each year, and over 220,000 people directly employed in this industry in this province. Software developer opportunities in Quebec are also abundant and varied, especially in major cities like Quebec and Montreal. Quebec City, I should say, and Montreal. The average salary for software developers in Quebec is currently $97,000. And a little bit on our boot camp. It's not the focus of today's presentation, but because we are talking about software and we're doing a bit of a live session, I just wanted to provide people with access to our course info in case you had any questions there. So our hands-on 36-week software development bootcamp is both online and project-based. It has 5 hours of live class per week, 2.5 hours of technical biweekly career labs, and 10 hours of independent study. There are weekly assignments, in-class challenges, portfolio projects, and students complete a capstone project at the end of the bootcamp. Over the course of the 36 weeks, our students acquire the skills to master a craft of developing advanced, scalable software systems, including leveraging modern AI tools to code faster and smarter. It's a foundational course, and it's an excellent starting point for those aiming to establish a career in software development, those offering an in-depth it's offering an in-depth introduction to the industry's core practices and emerging trends. So that's a little bit about our bootcamp there. We've got some cohort start dates listed, February 11th and March 11th. Those are the two upcoming ones we would have right after the holiday season here. So if anyone's interested or has any questions about our boot camps, feel free to reach out to the team here. Students do complete with the boot camp with developer certification as well, depending on where they graduated. So if you come through CircuitStream directly, you can see the certificate on the left or the badge on the left. And then if you go through one of our partners like McGill or UBC, the certification would include that too. So that's it for sharing some information here. We are going to officially dive into today's interactive workshop now. So I would like to officially invite Donald up on stage, and we can get this session kicked off. So welcome to the stage, Donald.
Hey, hello, can you hear me?
We can. And here, I'll get out of your way, but I'll be here, Donald. So if you need anything, just let me know and I'll hop back up.
Sounds good. I can introduce myself. So my name is Donald. I was a senior data scientist in Canada. Now I live in Tokyo, actually, and I am currently working on my own AI startup, but I also teach at CircuitStream. So it is fantastic to meet you all. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so screen has been shared. One of the things I typed in the chat is try to make sure you download Anaconda Navigator as well. It's okay if you can't in time, we can still do it with just Python. The reason I recommend Anaconda is it's a way to manage your environments. So in all programming languages, including Python, you're going to have to use packages that are made by other people, for example, the Discord package. And if you have to download a future package that depends on it, and that future package you end up having to update, it might create an inconsistency, and then that's going to break all of the Python files that you are running in that environment. So we use Anaconda to make sure separate environments don't interfere with one another, and it's just much cleaner. So highly recommend that if you haven't already, you press this green download button, you press this skip registration button. If you guys need the link again, I'll type it in the chat. It's right there. And then I have a Mac, so I would click download for Mac. Some of you may have Windows, so you click download for Windows. I already have it downloaded, so I don't need to press this button. The only thing that I recommend you guys do is if you are a Windows user, if you are a Windows user, it's going to ask you for some advanced options, and one of the check marks you need to click is add Anaconda to my path environment variable. If you don't do this, then unfortunately you're going to have to uninstall and reinstall Anaconda again. So yeah, programming is kind of annoying with these installation issues, but make sure that once you press install and you see this advanced option, even though it says not recommended, you got to click it, click yes, and then press install. Let me just put this over here. Where'd it go? Okay, I'll give everybody a couple seconds to finish that installation. Yeah, it's totally okay if you just use regular Python virtual environment, but I'll teach everybody how to do this as well. So that way in the recording that you get sent later, you can just follow it and ensure that you have Anaconda installed. Great. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is once Anaconda is installed, you're going to want to open your terminal or command prompt. If you don't know what a terminal or a command prompt is, it is essentially this big black square that allows you to do things to your computer on a very low level. So if you don't know how to find it, look for a magnifying glass on your computer. That's the search bar. If you're on Windows, you type CMD, and it's going to show command prompt. If you're on Mac, which I am on Mac, you type terminal, and it's going to show you the same thing, terminal. And they both look like this, just a black square. If you've installed Python without Anaconda and you type Python _version, and then you press enter, it will tell you what version of Python you have installed. If this gives you an error, unfortunately, that means your installation was not done correctly, so you'll have to do that at a later time. If you want to do it the Anaconda way, here's what we're going to have to do. It's slightly longer, but don't worry, I'm here to help you guys with that. So first, you're going to want to create a new environment. And the way you do that is you type conda create _name pi39. So what this is doing is it's using conda, which is Anaconda, and it's telling it to create a new environment. And then here I'm specifying that the name of my environment is pi39. And the reason I'm calling it pi39 is because we're going to install Python 3.9, as that is my favorite version of Python. And then you press Y, and then I'm not going to do this because I already have it installed, so let's just press N. But for you guys, you should press Y. Great. And then after that, it's going to install it. So then you go conda activate pi39. And your computer is now going to show this pi39 in square brackets on the left side instead of base. If you're on Windows, it might not show that. Actually, I don't think it shows anything at all, but as long as it doesn't give you an error, that means it worked correctly. And then the next thing you're going to do is, now that we're in this environment, we are going to install Python in it. You go conda install Python equals 3.9. Okay. I'm not going to run this because I already have Python 3.9 installed in this environment, but once again, it's going to ask you to type in Y or N for yes or no, and then you just press yes to proceed, and then it's going to finish. Good. And then finally, if you want to check that your installation worked, you can just do Python --version again. And then as you can see here, this environment has Python 3.9 installed. Before I entered that environment, I had Python 3.12. So this is how environments work, right? Like a different environment has different things installed in it. Even though they both have Python, they're using different versions. So hopefully that made sense. Just remember, oh, somebody's getting an error. Yeah, so it looks like some people got an error when it asked if your Python, or when you try to type Python --version. That just means that the Python installation was not done correctly. This is likely a Windows error, so I won't be able to troubleshoot you guys right now as I am on Mac. But that's okay. You can still follow along as long as you downloaded PyCharm, and then just catch up to it later on the recording. So first things first, we're going to open PyCharm Community Edition. All right. Your screen should look something like this, minus the projects, because you guys probably haven't worked on a project yet. So then you're going to click New Project. Okay. And now it should look something like this. So in your new project, name it whatever you want. We can call it Discord bot. The location doesn't really matter. I'll just put it in my documents. And then the interpreter type. Okay, so here is where you select which Python version you're going to be using. So I like to keep it in custom environment and do select existing. And then here, this type, this is whether or not you were able to successfully install Anaconda. If you were, you pick the Conda type, and then you pick your Py39 environment. If you were not able to successfully install Anaconda, you switch it to Python, and then you just pick whichever Python environment you have downloaded. But for me, I have Anaconda installed, so I'm going to pick the Py39 environment in Conda. Once all these settings look good, I'm going to press create. And this is now going to create a brand new folder. And I can actually confirm this by going into my documents. I have a brand new folder here called Discord bot. It is completely empty, but this is where our Python project is stored. Okay. So next step is we're going to create a new Python file. And the way you do that is if you right click on this folder, you go new, then you go Python file, you can create a new Python file. So let's name this bot.py. Okay, so it looks like some people are asking to slow down a bit. No worries at all. I can take it a bit more slowly. And so if anybody is stuck on the creating a new project part, I can show you once again how to do that. Okay. So unfortunately, I can't help you guys with installing Python because that actually takes a really long time to troubleshoot, and we would be here all day, but we only have 1 hour. So we're just going to hope that you can follow along with the code, and then you can still type code even if Python's not working for you, and then you can try to troubleshoot the Python later. But I can help you guys with the project again. So to show you how to create a new project one more time, press new project, right? New project. If you don't know where your PyCharm is, You just go into your search bar, you type PyCharm, all right, and you press enter. It's just going to open. And then you press new project. And then here you're going to see the name of your project. Name it whatever you like. So for example, Discord bot. The location is going to be the documents folder or whatever folder you like. Just leave it as the default is fine. Ignore these two checkboxes. You don't need to touch them for now. Then up next is going to be choosing your interpreter type. So interpreter type means where your Python code runs, right? So a Python interpreter is something that takes in Python code and generates computer instructions. So I'm going to click custom environment. And then you want to click select existing because you've already installed Python. So you want to select an existing environment. For anybody who was unable to successfully install Anaconda, change the type to Python. Okay. And then this should automatically generate your Python path, which is where you installed Python, whether it's like 3.9 or 3.12. Looks like some people are typing. I'll give it a minute. So it seems that some people can't open up PyCharm. Were you able to install it and then an application shows up on your desktop? So some people can't download PyCharm. Okay. No app appears. Tried to install twice. Yep, you can most definitely use VS Code, Francis. Any Python interpreter that you have downloaded should be able to work. Okay, so it looks like a lot of people are having troubles with the installation of either Python or PyCharm. So for the time being, please just follow along. And even if you can't type it in yourself, you will have access to the recording. I'll go really slow and I'll stop in time to ask for everyone to ask questions. And then we can move through there. So let's continue with the project. I don't need to click create because I already made this Discord bot. So I'll go to my project. All right. I'm just going to delete this file so I can show you how to make a new one again. So if you right click on your project on PyCharm or VS Code, it's usually the exact same. And you click new Python file and you name it bot.py. You're going to create a new Python file called bot.py. So any file that ends with .py is a Python file, which means you can write Python code into it and it will then be interpreted and generate commands for your computer to do. So hopefully that makes sense. Remember, if your installations aren't working, feel free to just follow along. I'll stop right now for a second if anybody has any questions not regarding the installations. Okay, sounds good. All right, next, we're going to need to install some libraries. A library is essentially a bunch of Python code that have been created by someone else and they're posted on the internet and you can download it. So that way it saves you time. So here's how you install a library in Python. You once again open up your command prompt. Okay, if you forget how to open up command prompt, you will have to just go into your search bar and type CMD if you're on Windows. If you're on a Mac, you type terminal because the command prompt is called terminal, and it will open up this window. Then from there, if you are using the Python inside of Anaconda, you will first switch to that environment, which is conda activate, and then the name of your environment, py39. Okay, if you did not use Anaconda, then you don't have to do this step. You can actually just skip this step and just stay in your base folder, which also has Python in it. Then next, you are going to install Discord. And there are two ways you can do that. One is through pip, one is through conda. Both of these are softwares that allow you to install external libraries. The way they work is they're already connected to an internet database that has access to all these libraries. And so it just downloads it onto your computer from the internet. So you need an internet connection for this part. But to install the Discord library, you type conda activate Discord, DISCORD. So this is the library that someone has created in order to allow you to write Python code to manipulate a bot, a Discord bot specifically. And you can Google the library. You can just go on the internet and type Python Discord library, and it'll give you a bunch of instructions on yeah, Ethan, so I just mentioned if you're not using conda, you skip this step. You completely skip the conda activate py39 step. But this next step, the conda activate Discord, you cannot skip. You do it no matter which environment you are in. So I'm going to press enter. Sorry, not activate. Conda install Discord is the command you're going to run. So install. My apologies for that. I had the wrong word. So now this downloads the Discord library into your computer. And you now have access to it, whether that's in the py39 environment or the base environment. That all depends on whether or not you typed in this conda activate py39 beforehand. So this is how you install a library. If conda install did not work, you can also do it through pip. So the other one is pip install Discord. It does the exact same thing, but sometimes conda doesn't work, and that's if you didn't install conda correctly. And you type this, pip space install Discord, it will do the exact same thing. So to answer Victoria's question, if you have Python downloaded regularly without Anaconda, you don't need to activate at all. It's already activated, right? So I'll show you an example of that. I'll open up my terminal again. Let's say I don't have Anaconda installed. I would literally just immediately type pip install Discord here. And now Discord is also installed in my base environment. Sounds good. Okay, so that's one. And then I also need one more library, which is called python-.env. And the way you do that is you go pip install python-dotenv. All right, so pip install python-dotenv. So this is the .environment library that we also need. If my screen is too small, I'll also paste this in the chat so you guys can see it. So now we have the 2 libraries that we need for Discord. That's good. Now we can move on. So that's all you need to do in terms of installing libraries. Next, we go back into PyCharm. You're going to right click on your folder. You're going to go new. And then you're going to go file. And you're going to make a new file. And we're going to name it something very weird, but just trust me on this. .env. That's it. That's the whole file name. It's just that it starts with a period. I know it's odd, but just trust me on this. And then you press enter. Leo says, is there any difference in installing the libraries in the PyCharm terminal versus the Windows terminal? The answer is no, Leo, there is no difference. You can also do it here. So I click on the PyCharm terminal. It opens up. For me, because I chose Anaconda Python 3.9 as my interpreter, I'm already in that environment, so I don't need to activate it. And I can also install it here, pip install Discord. And it will do the exact same thing. As you can see, it says requirement is already satisfied, which means I've already installed it. So great question, Leo. All right, so you can just ignore this. So now we have 2 files in our project, the bot.py file, which has absolutely nothing in it, and the .env file, which also has absolutely nothing in it. Okay. What we want to do in the .env file is note you do not need to purchase the license to use PyCharm this way. Just the community edition, which is free, will allow you to use it this way. Okay, so in the .env folder, this is a very important file. Essentially, what it's for is to store all your passwords, anything that is secret. And so if you end up using GitHub to save your code, you don't want to upload your passwords as well. So you keep it in a separate file. So I'm going to store my Discord bot password in here, and you guys are all going to do the same. Every Discord bot has a password. This prevents other people from editing the code on your bot. Okay, but it also allows your Python code to manipulate the bot that you've created. So let's name our password token, Token, and we're going to set it equal to, for now, just 2 empty quotation marks. And I like to use single quotation marks, but you can also use double quotation marks. It actually doesn't matter in Python. They're the exact same thing. So inside these quotation marks, we're going to put our password eventually, but right now I don't have my password. So leave it as empty quotation marks. So token, all capital letters, equals single quotation marks. So that's that step. Okay, now the next step, everyone should be able to do, because this doesn't require you to have any installations. It only requires you to have a Discord account, and I really hope you all made Discord accounts before today's presentation. But I will go ahead and go to the website. So this is the Discord developer portal. I'm going to paste the link in the chat, so please click on this link. It might ask you to log in. When you log in, you should see something like this. I have an application here because I've already created an application. For you guys, this will most likely be your first application if you haven't done this already. So you won't see anything here, but you will all be able to see this big blue button. So for the sake of time, if at least 3 people type in the chat saying they can see the button, then put your hand up or say yes, or I see the button. Okay, good. So we're going to click this big blue button. It says new application. It's going to ask for a name of your application. So let's call it My First Bot. MyFirstBot. And then it's going to ask you to click to agree with the terms and services. If you guys want to open the terms and services and read all of them before you click it, be my guest. I'm not going to do that right now. So let's just trust that Discord is in my best interest and press the blue create button. Okay. Nice. So now we have a new application. So in Discord, there's a minor difference between a bot and an application. A bot is a type of application, but you can also make other types of Discord applications like webhooks or games or fancy emojis like GIF emojis. But our application is specifically going to be a bot. So your screen is now going to look something like this. Okay. The first thing you should do is type in your bot name, which we already did before, so you don't need to do this. You can also update the icon if you press this picture button and choose any photo you have on your computer. This is not needed though. And then you can give your bot a description and a tag and a bunch of other stuff. If you want to delete your bot, the red button's here, but we don't want to delete it yet. So we'll leave that part as is. This is the general information section. Next, we're going to go to the bot section. Okay, so when we edit this, we tell Discord that this application is a bot application. Functionality-wise, are there limitations to app versus bot as far as Discord goes? There's limitations to everything, but there's some pretty amazing bots out there that, like, I can't remember what the website was called, Discord bots. I have a link. I will share the link with you guys in 1 second. Got it. Copy and paste. So this is a website called top.gg. It's a marketplace for existing Discord bots. And you can click on it. And this is a bunch of Discord bots that people all over the world have created. So they do things like help you identify Counter-Strike prices or skins. There's like a shop bot that allows you to buy things on WeShop. And you can basically do any kind of search you want on different Discord bots. So limitations, Jordan, exist, but the ceiling is very high. There's a lot of different bots that people have created, and you can make it do whatever you want. So they're very useful both for gaming and things like Discord that are used for, but also if you have a company or organization and you use Discord as your main messaging services, you can have bots look for files for you, right? Like let's say you sent a file 2 years ago and you don't know where it is. You can have a search bot that'll identify where the file's location is, right? So bots are very useful even in companies, not just for gaming. Great question. Okay, now to continue. So we're in the bot section, right? Before we were in general information, now we are in bot. So we're going to reset our token. Press this blue button that says reset token, and then it's going to ask you, yeah, do you want to do this? You're going to click yes, do it. Then it's going to ask for your Discord password. I hope you guys remembered your Discord password. It's the one that you use to log into Discord with. If you don't, please check your note apps right now. You type it in and you press submit. Okay. What is this? Unknown application. Jimmy bot. I think I may have to rename the bot before I can reset the token. Okay, I seem to be having an issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and just make another application. I don't know if you guys had that same issue. Bootcamp bot. Click yes, create. We're going to go into bot. Bootcamp bot Jimmy. Save changes. Okay, and now we'll reset the token again. Okay, what is going on? So it looks like for some people, the bot worked. And for me, it didn't. This is really odd. So for Sandra, it didn't, but for everyone else, it did, it looks like. For some people, it worked on the second try. Had to reload the page to fix the error. Okay, let's try that. Donald app. Okay, let's go back to applications. Let's reload the page. Okay. For some reason, my other two apps were never created. Must have been an internet issue. Some people are recommending to clear the browser cache, but if you create your app and then you back out and then you press refresh and it's still there, it probably worked correctly. Let's just do delete browsing data. Okay. New application, my new bot. Hello. Save changes. Go back to applications. Let's press the refresh button. Okay. So it didn't work for me. Hopefully for everybody else it worked. Try using incognito window. All right, let's give that a try. If this shows up, a new token was generated. Okay, I don't think we're gonna have time to troubleshoot this forever. So what I'll do is I'll just continue with my already existing Discord app. So I already have one here called Joey Bot, and we'll use this one for now. So I'm not gonna click reset token because if I do that, I might lose access to my old token. You know what, let's just continue for now. Okay, just one moment. So I need to find my other bot token for a second. Copy. So some people had to change their Discord password. Some people had to create a new Discord. For some people, it worked. I'm just going to continue with this bot that I already created. If it doesn't work for you, it might just be an internet issue and you guys can try it again later. But for now, just follow along. So after you reset token, it's going to generate a token that all you want to do is you want to copy. And paste it into your token. So I grabbed my token for my already existing Discord bot and I'm going to paste it in right here. Okay, it's going to be very long. It's going to be a bunch of gibberish that doesn't make any sense, but just paste it into your token. So just remember, if you don't have a Discord token, it should not be shared. All right, you guys can see my token because I'll just delete this bot afterwards. It doesn't matter. But if you want to create a Discord bot and you actually want to follow through and do lots of cool stuff with it, you don't want to share this token. Because if I typed your token in here, I can make changes to your bot, even if it's on your company laptop or whatever. As long as I have access to this code and an internet connection, I can edit your bot. So make sure not to share this token. Good. Okay. Next step is you want to update the permissions for your Discord bot. Okay, so we're still in the bot section. If you scroll down, you will see a section that looks like this, bot permissions. But right above it, there is this part that says message content intent. You want to make sure this is turned on, okay? So turned on means it's blue and the white circle is on the right side. So make sure you look for message content intent inside the bot section, right? So when you're in your build a bot section, here's my bot, has a logo, that's a photo of me in Paris. You scroll down to the message content intent, you see this, and you just turn it on. Once you turn it on, you're going to want to click this green Save Changes button. If you don't save your changes, it'll be as if you never did anything. So press Save Changes. I'll tell you what this does. So these are permissions for your bot on what it can do. Message content intent means it has access to all of the messages in whatever Discord server it is in. Okay, so it's a permission that you have to enable. Server members intent means it has access to all of the server members and their names. So it looks like, Victoria, you had the same issue as I was having when I pressed reset token. I think that's just a thing where you have to keep continuously refreshing it. Yeah, it might be an internet issue. I'm also having it too. Unfortunately, there's no way to do this unless we just send emails to Discord as a company and say, hey, please update your website. Yeah, like Jordan is saying, Discord is having issues. But yeah, for now, just try your best. If it doesn't work, rewatch the videos at a later time when you can try again. So now the bot has access to messages. Next, you're going to want to go into this section, which is called OAuth 2. Okay, so this is the authenticator. This section is for creating a link to invite the Discord bot into your Discord channel. So the first thing you're going to want to do in this section is scroll down here to the scopes, right? You're going to see scopes, and you're going to want to find the scope that says bot. And if anybody else is wondering what are the other application types for Discord, they're all here. It's all of these, right? So there's email applications, there's guilds, all of these different things, but we want to make a bot application. Okay, so after you press bot and you see this white check mark, you can go down and the new section will appear called bot permissions. Okay, so these are the permissions that you're going to ask whatever your server your bot wants to join, if the bot can have access to them. And we're going to pick 4 for now. You can pick as many as you want. You can even pick administrator. But just for this project, we're going to pick 4 permissions. And they are send messages, view channels, read message history. There should be one more. Just quickly check. Read message history. Send messages in threads. And mention everyone. You actually don't need all of these. The only ones we really need is view channels and send messages and read message history. So I can actually just unclick those 2. So we only need these 3 for now, because our bot is going to be very simple. It's just going to be sending messages and receiving them. And then after you have these 3 settings clicked, what you're going to want to do is scroll down and you're going to want to copy this URL that was just generated. Okay. Now you can go onto a new tab in your Google Chrome and your Safari, whatever you're using, and you just paste that link. Okay. And then what it's going to do is it's going to ask you inside of Discord if you can add this bot to your server. However, I want to make a new server before adding the bot. I don't want to add it to one of my existing servers. So let's make a new server before doing that. Just ignore it. Press X on that window when it pops up. Just press X on it. So here's how you make a new server. Everybody open up the Discord app. Okay. I believe you need the Discord app to do this. I don't think you can do it on discord.com. So I really hope you have the Discord app installed. And then if you scroll all the way down on the left side, you will see this plus button, which is to add a server. You want to click it. This is how you create your own brand new server. You're going to want to do create my own. And then it doesn't matter here. Let's just say it's for me and my friends. And we can give a name to our server, boot camp server. And you press create. And now I have a brand new server. So there's only one channel, only one voice channel, and there's only one member in it. So let's go back into Discord, copy this URL again, paste it. Okay, now it's requesting to add the bot to my server. So I will find my server, which is called Bootcamp server, the one I just created, and I'm going to press continue. These are the 3 permissions that I chose on Discord, right? View channels, send messages, and read message history. These are the permissions that the bot, which is called 9342_app, is going to have on this server. You're going to want to click authorize. It's going to ask if you're a human. I really hope I'm a human. And then success. So now if I go to my Bootcamp server, there's 2 people in the server. Only one of them is online. That's me. And then JoeyBot, which is the name of my bot, is now offline. So offline means it's not running. I don't have any Python code running right now, but it is in my server, so I can make it do stuff. Good. All right, so that's the setup step for having a bot in your server. Now it's time to get to coding. Okay, so this is back to the problem where for some of you, Python didn't install correctly. Unfortunately, you're going to have to watch some videos or do that in your free time. If we have extra time at the end of this tutorial, I can do a bit of troubleshooting with you guys. However, I don't know if we're going to, so keep your fingers crossed. But we'll continue for now. So first, remember earlier when we installed the Discord library? What we want to do now is we want to use the Discord library in our code. And the way you use any type of library in Python code is you have to import it. You type import and then the name of the library, Discord. Okay, if it's gray, that means that it's working and your library was installed correctly. If there's a red underline here, that means that it's either not able to access the environment where your library was installed or the installation failed. For some of you, it might be red. Don't worry about this. Once again, it has to do with the installation, which we can work on later. Then the second library we want is the other one we installed, .env. And from that one, you go import .env. Okay, we want one more library. This one we don't have to install, and that's because we have it built into Python, and this is the OS library. It means operating system. So every time you install Python, it automatically comes with this library, which allows you to manipulate your computer's operating system. So these are the 3 libraries we're going to use today. So hopefully that makes sense. Can I make the window bigger? Yes, let's try that. Does that good? Sounds good. Okay. Next, let's load our environment token, right? So in our .env file, we have our Discord token. We want to load it. Okay, so here is how you load it. You have to go into your code and type .env, which is the name of the second library that we've imported, this one. .load, and you can see now it's highlighted in orange, which means you're now using that library. _ .env. Okay, so load.env is a function inside of the .env library, which allows you to load this file, this very exact file. So it has a very specific use, which is it goes into the folder where your Python file is, and it looks for a file called .env, and it loads all of the content in it. Next, you're going to want to assign the token to a Python variable. So in Python and all other coding languages, you can use variables to store information like text or passwords or numbers or anything. So we can call this my _ bot _ token. And that's going to equal os.getEnv. And then you're going to want to call it the same thing as over here, token. Okay, now I'll explain what I just did. So when you use this syntax with an equal sign, it saves something into a Python variable of that name. And here we are using the operating system library. And we're using a function inside of that library called getEnv, which means look for a env file, which we loaded up here. And inside of that env file, look for something called token with all capital letters, which is what this is here. So we have now loaded our password into my bot token. For those of you that the Python installation works correctly, you can now print this token, print my bot token, press play. And it should print out here in your terminal, right? So if Python installed correctly and you guys aren't having any issues, this will work. Unfortunately, if it didn't, just don't blow up the chat for now. It will be dealt with later. Okay, Raphael has a question. You don't need to feed .env file name like this, .load, find.env. No, you don't. You don't need to feed the name because it's always the same name. This name is constant. It's always going to be called this exact name. Always lowercase env, always a period before it. Okay, that's good. So now that we're able to print my token, let's use it to create code for our bot. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create something called intents. Okay, intents is another variable, and intents is another word for permissions. So we're going to create a set of Discord permissions, and we're going to store it in this variable. So it's going to be called Discord, which is now the Discord library is being used. As you can see, it got highlighted. So all three of our libraries are now being used in our code. .intents. So intents is an object type inside of the Discord library that allows you to create permissions and then modify those permissions and then assign those permissions to something. .default. Okay, so these are the default permissions, which means essentially your bot can't do anything. Default just means can't do anything. So Jaime, if you got that issue, it means that your Discord installation didn't work correctly. So what I recommend doing is you just open up your terminal and you just type pip install Discord again, or pip3 install Discord right here. And you can do it in the PyCharm terminal. If that doesn't work, unfortunately, just try to follow along and then we can work on it after the session is completed. Okay, so we have now created a brand new set of intents, and because it's default, that means there's nothing in it. So we're gonna give one of the intents a true value, and that is intents dot message content equals true. Sorry, not messages, message underscore content. So this set of permissions that we created only has one thing in it that is true, and that's message content. So that means anything that these permissions are assigned to is going to be able to view messages inside of that channel. Okay, so we have created a set of permissions, but we haven't assigned it to a bot. So we're going to now create the variable for our bot. So bot equals Discord dot client. So client is a class inside of Discord. Client essentially means the same thing as bot. So here we're creating a brand new bot. And we're going to set intents for the client, which means the permissions for the bot, equal to the permissions that we've just created, these ones. And the way you do that is you set it equal to this. So you said copy, paste. Now both the section and the name of the variable are intents. So these, please don't be confused by this. These two are not the same thing. The one on the left is the section that you're assigning. The one on the right is the name of your variable. So I could have named this anything like Joe, and then Joe, and then Joe. However, I'm not going to name that Joe. I'll just leave it as intents. So now we have a bot that has access to those specific permissions. Okay, that's good. So next, we're going to run an event when the bot goes online. And here's how that works. You're going to type @bot.event. Okay, so now this is a built-in keyword inside of the Discord library. And whenever it sees this, whatever the following line is going to replace the existing definition of that event. So I'm going to do async def on underscore ready. So for those of you that don't know, whenever you see def in Python, that means you're defining, def stands for defining, a function, okay? And our function is called onReady. So this onReady function already exists inside of the Discord library, but we're now defining it for our exact bot. And async just means this doesn't happen only once. This happens whenever you call await on something, which is very complicated, but essentially it means it's continuously happening. Okay, so it's not a function that runs one time, it's a function that is continuously happening. And all we're going to do for onReady is print, and then you can say something like my bot is ready. So this message is going to print when the bot is ready. Okay, so now let's press run. So notice nothing happened. And that's because we've only defined the function, but we haven't called the function. So in programming, whenever you make a function, okay, the definition is actually just a blueprint, and you have to action upon that blueprint and do it. So you have to actually call onReady. And the way you do that is you just type it out. So you just do on underscore ready. Oh, sorry, you don't. You have to do bot.run. Okay. So bot is the Discord bot we created, and then .run is exactly what it sounds like. It's a function inside of the Discord library that runs the bot that you've created, and you have to give it the token of your bot, which we assigned to my underscore bot underscore token. Okay. And then inside the Discord library, there's the first bot event, the one we've defined here, is onReady. So the first thing it's going to do is it's going to go through all of the events and it's going to run them in order. So the first one run is onReady, and it's going to run this. So now we press play. Okay, so now it prints out a message saying my bot is ready. And here's why this is cool. If you now go into your other tab, which is your Discord, you will see that your bot is online. Again, assuming that Python was installed correctly. If it isn't, please just follow along. Don't blow up the chat. So Kim Abella asked if there's a difference between typing code indented versus not indented. Yes, in Python. In most other coding languages like JavaScript or Java, white space does not matter, but in Python, it does. Whenever you define a function in Python, all of the code for that function has to be indented once, okay? Not twice. If I did this and I indented it twice, my code would not run, right? So it has to be indented exactly once. And I can write as many other lines of code here, but they all have to be indented for Python to know that this is part of the onReady function. No problem. Okay, so you guys have basically just created a bot that turns on. It doesn't do anything, but it turns on. So now we want to do some cool stuff like get it to respond to you. But before that, I also want to show you a cool little thing. So if I type F before my string here, I can put part of my code inside of this string. So instead of saying my bot is ready, I can use one of my existing variables like bot. And then inside of bot, there's an attribute called user, which is the username of my bot. So here I can say whatever the username of my bot is ready. And now let's rerun that. I'm going to press this green rotating arrow, which is rerun. Yeah, do not show this again. Stop and rerun. And now instead of saying my bot is ready, it says Joey bot 8054 is ready. So that's how you can get it to say the username of your bot. And that is the username of my bot. If you guys are wondering what these 4 digits are, in every Discord account, you have 4 digits associated to your username. That's how they identify your unique username. So this is something cool that you can also do. Okay, up next, we want to get the bot to send a message. So for that, we're going to create the second client event. So at bot.event. And then we're going to go async def. And now this one is called onMessage. So this is what happens when the bot receives a message. This first one is what happens when the bot is turned on. This is what happens when the bot receives a message. Okay, and now this function has to have a parameter. So in programming, if you make a function that takes in some sort of input and does something to that input, that's called a parameter. So the parameter here is the message. Okay, the message isn't just something in quotation marks. It's far more complicated than that. It has fields like time the message was sent, the user that the message was sent by, etc. But we won't get into that into too much detail for now. For now, just know that inside of this message, we can get the content, so the words that were typed, and we can get the bot to respond to it. Okay, there's one very important thing that you must do. Anytime you make a Discord bot to, Ahmed has a question. Do you need a separate @bot event for each event? Yes, you do. Okay, so for every single existing bot event, you can go on Google and find the Discord library and it'll tell you all of the existing bot events. You have to do @bot event for it. Okay, yeah, so onMessage, the most important thing, this part you can't forget. The bot looks at the chat and every single message typed into it, it's going to process. That includes messages that it sends, which means that it's going to respond to itself as well. And we do not want that. You don't want a bot that just talks to itself, unless you do, but I don't. So I'm going to make sure that the author of the message is someone besides the bot. So I'm going to make an if statement here. So if statements in Python are how you specify conditions. And when those conditions are met, you run some code. If those conditions are not met, you don't run that code. Okay. So here we're going to check if message dot author is equal to bot.user colon, then return. Return means don't do anything. So basically, don't do anything if the message sent was by the bot itself. We don't want the bot talking to itself. Hashtags are how you write comments in Python. It's basically just information you can type out that doesn't run any code. So that's how you comment. Okay. Otherwise, we want it to do something if you send a message. Okay. Now I can write all of that code out here, but I would actually prefer to do that in a separate function just for cleanliness. So I'm going to do await. And then let's call it my message function. And then message. So my message function does not exist because I haven't created it yet. So I'm just going to create it slightly above the bot event. We're going to make a new function. And it's going to be called send message. So async def my message function message. And we're going to run this whenever their bot receives a message. So to make something very simple, the first thing we want to do is we want to read the content of the message, which is the actual writing. What did you type? And so we can say something like content equals message dot content. So inside, remember earlier I said this message parameter that you pass in isn't something simple like string. It has also the author, the date, time it was sent. But if you want just the string, the information on the message, the words that were typed out, you just do message.content. And we can store that into a variable here called content. And then we can get the bot to respond. So for simplicity, we'll just have it respond back with whatever you type. So we'll make a new variable called bot response equals, and then we can make some string. Let's put the F in it so that way we can use our variables inside of it. And the bot will say, you just sent me. Okay. And then content. So the bot is going to tell you exactly what you told it. Now, I haven't done anything yet. All I've done is stored that into a variable here. If I want the bot to actually send that inside of Discord, inside of this channel, I have to tell it to do that. And the way you do that is you type await message. Okay, so message is once again this parameter dot channel. So it looks for the channel that the message was sent in. Dot send. So it sends back in that same channel. We're going to send the bot response. Okay. So hopefully this makes sense. So I'll go over it again what we did here. So we have created a new function called myMessageFunction. It takes the content from the Discord message. It generates a new response for it, and then it sends that response back into Discord. So let's press rerun. Okay, so it's turning on. It's going to say Joey bot is ready. I go into Discord and I'm going to type hello. And then Joey bot is going to respond, you just sent me hello. So this is how you create a very bare bones Discord bot that all it does is repeat back to you what you said to it. If you guys want some fun little homework to do, I showed you how to use an if statement here. You can make the message function more complicated where if you say something like hello, it will respond back with hello. Or if you say goodbye, it will respond back with goodbye. Eventually, you can add much more complication to this and get your bot to do even fancier things. But this is the basis of how Discord bots work. And I think we're like close to 8 minutes left. So I'll bring Tyler back up on stage. If he has any plans for these next 8 minutes, then we can ask the class if they have questions.
Yeah, amazing. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. Amazing session. Yeah, I've got a couple things here I'm going to share quick with you guys, and then we can jump right into some audience Q&A if there's anything else that you didn't kind of cover throughout the lesson. So maybe just more generic things overall about the industry, or if you have any questions for Donald or questions for me about the courses, I can answer that kind of stuff too. But yeah, just give me a quick sec here. Donald, if it's okay, I will close your shared screen there. And I'm just going to put mine back up. And I do have, there we go. I just put a poll into the polls tab at the bottom for you guys there as well. Just asking how you enjoyed the workshop today. So feel free to fill that out and let us know. But I'm going to quickly share my screen one more time here. And I'm just going to go through one thing I did want to mention. If anybody did have questions about our boot camp, or if you were looking at registering for an upcoming cohort, something I didn't mention earlier is that we do have finance plans available. You may have seen on the screen there, I didn't spend very much time on it, but there is an early bird promotion in place for the boot camp there. So yeah, reach out if you have any questions. We have finance plans available. We've probably got some good promotions on this month as well, with it being November, Black Friday season. So, and then contact information. So if you have any questions for us here, for the admissions team, this is the best way to reach out to us here. You can reach out to any of these 3 phone numbers or emails, and you will get connected with somebody on the team here. Yeah, if you just have any questions about upcoming cohort starts or anything like that. And that's it. I just wanted to quickly share some information for you guys, and then we can do some audience Q&A here. Let me close this back down. And I'll pop over. There's nothing in the actual questions tab here. So I'm just going to have a quick look at the most recent chat and see if there's anything that you guys are asking. Feel free to use the questions tab if you want to there. Can you please share the files created during this session, also along with the recorded video? So the recorded video for this will be automatically sent out to all event registrants. So you'll get this in your inbox once the session has completed. And it might take, you know, a half hour to an hour before it's formatted and sent out, but it will be sent to you today once the session has completed. Let me see. Do I need to know coding knowledge as a prerequisite to take the bootcamp? You do not. The bootcamp is completely beginner friendly. Any of our courses, all of our courses, I should say, are beginner friendly. So you don't have to have any coding experience or anything going into it. Yeah, it's available for you there. Do you have to pay if multiple servers use these bots? That's a question more for you, Donald. I don't know if you were still there. You're welcome to pop back up on the stage there, Donald. And
yeah, I responded in chat. No, you do not. So you can add it to as many servers as you want.
Perfect. Beautiful. And then is the bootcamp going to be online? Yeah. So the bootcamp itself is actually taught entirely online. It is live taught for a portion of it. There's obviously sections that you'll be doing on your own and kind of in between the classes, but there's 2 live classes that would happen per week with a live instructor there for you as well. Let me see. Thank you. Is there possibly connect the large language model to this bot? I'm going to say yes, but
yeah, it is. Yeah,
amazing.
And that's something that I teach in the teen courses. So if the 13 and 17-year-olds can figure it out, trust me, you guys will have a great time doing it.
Absolutely. So hang on, I'm just trying to keep up with the questions here, guys. Let me scroll back up a little bit here. Demo is a bit scary for me. Yeah, so the demo, Wallace, is obviously going to move at a little bit of an even faster pace than the course will. We try our best to do a lesson that's, you know, a little bit more in the beginner friendly side, so that, the instructors like Donald here have the opportunity to actually get through everything within an hour, but the boot camp itself is a lot more detailed. You've got a lot more support. It's not going to be so much we're going to email you one thing and then throw you into a live lesson for an hour. It's there's a lot more commitment, and there's a whole team there that would help you. So yeah, this is hopefully this is a little scarier than the actual boot camp would be. What laptop requirements are required? Is that for the boot camp itself? The boot camp, you just have to be able to run the programs. There's no paid programs for it. I don't think there's a specific set of requirements that you have to have, as long as your system kind of runs and operates. I'd say if it's within the last like few years purchase, if it's getting to be a bit older, or if it's really bogged down with a bunch of storage issues, then that might not be the best one to do a software course with. But there's no like specific minimum requirements, I don't think. Let me see here. Trying so hard to make sure I don't miss any of these for you guys. Does learning to code give you an edge as a UX researcher? Or does it not make much of a difference? I mean, that's a great question. I don't know if Donald might be able to even answer that one better than I can, but even if you're in any job that's basically working with people who are doing coding, even if it's not in your specific job title, if you're working and interacting and communicating with folks who do, it's always better to have a bit of an understanding there. So it would give you an edge in that sense, if that's kind of the angle for the questions from Kim. But what languages do we learn in the boot camp? Ken, the best thing to do is just download the syllabus and take a look through the course syllabus. It'll give you all the languages, the tools, all the different sections and units that are kind of covered in the course. I don't want to speak out of turn and say something. I'm certainly not an instructor with CircuitStream, so I don't want to say exactly what's included. But if you go to circuitstream.com, click on the adult course tab at the top, and then click on the software development bootcamp. Just hit request syllabus. I think you just fill in your email information, your first and last name, and it'll be emailed right off to you, so you can take a look through the syllabus that way. After the bootcamp, is there an internship? We don't offer direct internships, but a lot of our students do get internships through the career support that we offer. So we run career support throughout the course, and then we have what's called pitch day at the end of the course, where students can present their capstone projects to industry professionals that we invite into the room, online room, I should say, so you don't have to physically go somewhere for it. But through that, we often have our students get opportunities, contracted roles, internships, full paid junior, senior roles, depending on if they're combining it with some previous experience as well. So yeah, there's no specific internship, but we offer career support with the course there. I feel like I need to buy a new lap to handle all of this. Could you share some recommendations? It'd be tough, Wallace, to do that here. If you have any recommendations for laptops, the best ones that they could use, maybe just throw something in the chat there.
Yeah.
But Wallace,
I can speak on that. Somebody also asked if you can use a MacBook Pro M1. I use a MacBook Pro M1. I recommend you guys to use Macs. I know they're a bit more expensive of an option, but even if you get the most base model Mac, the reason for it is a lot of the Python installation issues only exist on Windows. And so, for example, one of the problems that a lot of my students have if they're Windows users is when you install Python, you have to set up the path so that way your computer knows where to find Python. You don't have to do that on Mac. So Apple has done a great job of simplifying coding for brand new users, even no matter how beginner they are. So if you can, try to get a MacBook. If it's more of an expensive option, it doesn't matter really. You can still use Windows. It'll just require you to do a lot more YouTube watching to troubleshoot issues. But hopefully you guys can take that into account.
Awesome. Okay. Let me see what else we've got here. Will there be other sessions like this? Yeah, we run sessions like this all the time. Different formats. Sometimes we run them more in an information session versus an interactive workshop, where we'll bring in like industry professionals to answer questions in real time, or just share a live lesson of some sort. But we try and incorporate these interactive workshops at least a few times throughout the year. We just did one similar in October on the 31st. It was for our game development bootcamp. But of course, there's some overlap there because there's some software developing that goes into game development. And we built a fun Halloween game with another one of our instructors for that one too. So yeah, if you're interested in doing sessions like this, just stay tuned. subscribe to any sort of communications from CircuitStream, and keep an eye out for emails when we advertise these types of events. Do we have options for funding and loans? Yes. So we offer finance plans directly through CircuitStream. There is also some discounts in place right now for early bird, and for, as I mentioned before, we're going to have some Black Friday promotions likely here, or annual fall sales. But outside of that, I think there's some funding options or assistance that's available depending on which province you're in. So the best way to do is go to circuitstream.com, click on the course page and scroll down. And usually if there's different types of funding that could be available, we'll have a few different options listed there. Or if you want to just connect with somebody and kind of have a conversation with somebody in person, just reach out to our admissions team, and they can kind of let you know what sort of funding options might be available for you in your province, depending on which course it is that you're looking at there. So I know that the courses don't qualify for full like university funding. Like in Ontario, you wouldn't be able to get OSAP for this course, but there's other types of funding that could be available for you there. So Adnan, I'll open the questions tab in just a second there. Adnan, give me just a sec here. I'm just going to scroll through here. Interested in the workshop topic. Do you guys provide some way to go further? So unfortunately for the workshop today, that's as far as we can take you. But you know, I mean, obviously the boot camp's a great way to kind of immerse yourself back into this overall. You might be able to kind of take what you've learned today, do a little bit of YouTube searching, and see if you could add a bit more to it. You probably won't be able to get too far unless you've got some existing knowledge there without additional education. But yeah, the boot camp's probably a great space for that. It's kind of like the style of our boot camp. MacBook, we had that question already. Do we have more workshops? Yes. We don't have an AI bootcamp specifically, but we do have AI tools incorporated into the development features of our bootcamp. So like our gaming bootcamp, our software bootcamp, we're trying to utilize AI tools right now, but we don't have a specific bootcamp on AI. Stay tuned. I don't know exactly what that looks like for the future, but it's a pretty big topic right now. It's kind of changing the face of a lot of things. So once it's kind of warranted to have a boot camp on its own, like maybe like an AI development boot camp or something like that, that would probably come into existence with us. I've used ChatGPT to help troubleshoot. Yeah, ChatGPT helps troubleshoot like crazy. That's a good point, Kim. Instead of just using YouTube, I'm so used to defaulting to that these days. ChatGPT is also a great way, especially with things like coding and stuff. It's not always right, so be careful. But it is pretty handy. It gives you some answers pretty quick. So then the session will be recorded and sent out to you afterwards. PyCharm says it needs to launch a run configuration. What does that mean? Donald, if you maybe want to throw something in the chat on that one.
Yep, I did.
Sweet. Okay, cool. Sorry, I haven't, I'm scrolling down. Sorry if I missed anything there, Donald. Can we get a certification that we participated in this bootcamp? Not in this session, but in the bootcamp, you get certification for that. Answered that. Can we get a copy of the recorded video from the October 31st bootcamp? Yes, Harpreet, if you go to CircuitStream's YouTube, just youtube.com, type in CircuitStream, click on our channel and just look at the most recent uploaded videos. It's probably the last one or one of the most recent ones that would have been uploaded there. Actually, I think it's 2 back now. So Donald, perfect. Will we have another intake later in 2025? We will. Yeah, we don't have the dates announced quite yet. We've just got the 2 winter dates listed there. But these boot camps run every few months. So there'll definitely be more dates in 2025 for the software boot camp. Do we always have to run the Python file to get the bot online, or can it run in the server background? That's totally a Donald question.
Yes. So if it runs in the server background, you're going to need to make an account for like Amazon or Microsoft Azure or Google, which costs money. You do get a 1-year free trial. So I guess for 1 year it is free. So that is something you can learn as well.
Awesome. Does the recording include the comments? There are some useful solutions here. So Kim, the recording link, I believe, brings you back into this exact room. So it's like this space kind of exists on its own even after the event has finished. So as long as that link works and it's through Livestorm here, you should be able to click in, and I believe you should have access to all of the comments and all of the chat that happened during the session. You'll watch the recording kind of where I'm up on screen. It'll just come up with a recorded video like play option. But I think on the right-hand side, you still have access to the chat information. I could be wrong, Kim. And if that is the case, if there's anything that's valuable to you here that you want, just reach out to us. You can always reach out to me directly to Tyler@circuitstream.com. And I can try and take some screenshots or something for you. But I think it'll all be here for you. It should be so. Do you guys have LinkedIn? Yeah, you can add me on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn is just Tyler Trapp at CircuitStream. If you search that, there should only be one of me out there working at CircuitStream, I think. And then hold on, I'm just going to flip over to the questions tab because I think there was one in here for you, Donald. In the industry, how much does a degree in CircuitStream matter? Does having a degree in something else like Bachelor of Arts along with the boot camp diploma? Also, I guess it's a general one. I can answer this one too, but
I think they meant computer science, not CircuitStream.
Oh my God, yes. Sorry, my brain immediately goes to CircuitStream when I see CS degree in computer science matter. Yeah, I've got an answer for this too. I mean, I connect with a lot of industry professionals. A lot of our students go out of the courses and find work really right away. Which tells me that you don't have to have a computer science degree to break into the industry as a software developer, game developer, whatever the case may be. I think the reality is it's just changed. If you were trying to break into any industry 10, 15, 20 years ago without having college or university background, it would be a lot more difficult. These days, education is looked at quite a bit different. I know a lot of people that run companies who predominantly look for bootcamp people first, actually, before they look for other types of students. Sometimes it's not always the case. Every company is different, but both are going to give you a competitive edge. If you have a bootcamp education and a computer science degree, you're probably going to stand out quite a bit. But do you need to have a bootcamp or a computer science to qualify? You could have either. You could have one or the other. And again, it just kind of depends on the company and what types of opportunities you're looking for. If you're looking for senior level roles, like right out the gate, having a computer science degree is probably going to help. But even that, you're probably not going to get hired for it until you get some real world experience in the position anyway. So hopefully that helps. I can't really say which is going to be the best type of education. I just know that connecting with hiring partners, they hire for all different types of education right now. And a lot of companies are looking for bootcamp students for sure. So comp science. Sorry, I just went back to the chat. Yeah, sorry, Adnan, my brain, I've been working at CircuitStream too long. I see CS and I immediately think CircuitStream, which I should also think computer science. But well, cool. I think that was all the questions. If I missed anything in the questions, in the chat there with the questions, I do apologize. There's quite a few coming through at once, and I did my best to kind of go through and hit them all. If I missed anything, just reach out to us. I'm happy to answer after the fact, or I can connect you with the team here if they are able to answer it better than I can. But yeah, huge thank you to you, Donald, for taking the time to run this lesson today. That was amazing. I can see the chat's loving it here too. So, and for anybody who didn't get the chance to code along or kind of do it along today, just wait for that recording to come. But yeah, huge thank you, Donald, for running this today.
No problem.
Cool. Well, cool. Well, you work with us, Donald, so I'll connect with you offline, but I would love to do another one of these again in the future. It looks like the crowd would as well. But yeah, for everyone in the audience, thanks for joining us. And like I said, to go to circuitstream.com. The events tab is at the bottom of our main website page. If you click on that, you can kind of see what sort of upcoming events we have. We are right at the end. We're kind of coming into the holiday season here. So we're probably going to have a bunch of new events posted throughout December and in January for the new year, probably January, February dated events. So there's not a whole lot there right now. We're just kind of in a lull between coming into the holidays. So thanks again, everyone. And we will look forward to seeing you at the next event. Have a fantastic day. Bye, everyone. Bye.